It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. Of course, it is our daily mission to bring you news that you could use. Today will be no exception to the rule. You can follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website, obnradio.com. So without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Of course, we're on the road again en route to San Antonio, Texas. We'll be there for the duration of the week, but it is our mission to bring you news that you could use, and we might as well get right into the day. Of course, we've been having our athletic directors powwows. Athletic directors Dr. Donald Reed of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluffs, newly appointed athletic director Chris Robertson. We also heard from Kevin Granger of the Texas Southern Tigers, and we have a few more in store to bring to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But we've been talking about the short lifespans of athletic directors here of late, in particular that in the case of the Grambling State Tigers, 11 athletic directors since 2005. That is a lot of moving parts, which makes it very challenging for any athletic program, regardless of its storied history, to have a consistent, successful run. We know there are many of moving parts that are not seen to the average fan on things that an athletic director must accomplish in order to have an overall successful program. We automatically think about wins and losses, of course, but you have to have the fundraising part. You have to have continuity among your coaching staffs. And you have to have a dynamic working relationship with your president. And sometimes these are not cut and dry as they seem as they should. Many times there are in-house fighting, shall we say, that takes place that many will never get a chance to see. But rest assured, there are always some challenging moments. And let us not forget the ever so elusive moving budgets. All budgets are not the same. How do you maximize when you don't have that much to work with to begin with? One of the cases in point is that of the Mississippi Valley Southern Jaguar game, which has been moved to Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi Valley, of course, the home team for this event. And many people say, hey, man, you get an opportunity to host Southern at your home field, which has a 10,000 seat capacity. You figure minimum price, $20 a seat. It's $100,000 just at gate sales, not to mention parking and concessions. Some cases, easier said than done. If you look at the larger picture, yes, you could make $100,000 at the gate. Or would it be easier to receive a guarantee from a promoter, let them worry about selling tickets? You show up game day, because it's only about an hour and a half commute, collect your cash, hopefully get the win, come back home, all in a day's work. What are some other creative ideas that some of these institutions can implement in order to boost the attendance for these home events? Remember, you have anywhere between 4 and 5 home games per football season. And we know that the easiest sale of a lot of them will be your homecoming game. Now, I personally think you could boost that slightly depending on the quality of the homecoming opponent. I think if you make that an attractive game, you could increase your ticket sales because, you know, there's a huge difference between having multiple people on the campus versus people actually entering the game. Of course, I played with the thought of having each game as a homecoming event which actually could work depending on how you would structure it. I know most teams try to have some type of theme for their particular home games, but I'm talking about actually making it an all-out homecoming event. It would take some creative thinking, but I think it's some huge possibilities in that area. But if anything, from my vantage point, that would give you a greater opportunity of increasing home game sales, it has to be your direct line to the community in which that institution resides. I'm not talking about the outside areas, but I'm talking about the heartbeat of where that institution is. Regardless of the size of the community, if you can establish an intimate relationship with the powers that be that make up that community, that direct community in which that institution is in, you have a greater opportunity of establishing better turnouts at home. I'll use my beloved Panthers as an example. 15,000 seat capacity stadium. All I want to be able to do is ensure that every home game I have anywhere between 10 and 20% of that immediate community somehow, some way in attendance at my games. Now, if I have to make a special section, ticket price, whatever the case may be, that I can get that individual in. Because remember, it's more than just the actual ticket itself. You would have to imagine that once the person gets in, whether it's a beverage, something to eat, a souvenir, it increases my bottom line of adding to my desperate need of a budget boost. So once again, in the case of Prairie View, if I'm going anywhere between 10 and 20% of the immediate community, we're talking about 3,000 tickets. In most cases, there are enough students from the area high schools that could bolster those numbers with ease. It will take some legwork. We'll take some slightly thinking out of the box. But I really believe this is a great opportunity of building your fan base, increasing your brand, and developing new supporters. And this formula can actually work at any institution. In particular, we're talking about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, from the smallest to the largest. Opportunities are there. Once again, we have to hear when they're not even speaking and have to see when they're trying to hide. I personally believe that there are enough local, small to mid-sized corporations that make up these various communities that you could work some type of ticket deal between them and your local school districts to help increase that awareness of whatever that institution's brand is. I would love to hear what you guys think about this particular scenario. Of course, we're always open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on our message line, 713-570-6736. Stepping outside of the box, finding the new money, if you would, establishing a better relationship with the community. We're working on a special Father's Day weekend episode of the Mike Prince Show, Sunday Night Live edition, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, of course. Always working on something that hopefully will be of value to you, the listener. I am going to exit stage left for right now. My time is far spent. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.